Darius, welcome to Bite Action.
Hi, Thomas.
How are you? How's it going?
Everything is perfect. Everything is great. Actually, first chiller day in Lithuania since for some time. So we had a very hot temperature, like 30 plus for
Really?
days.
I thought
Yeah,
it was raining a lot in Lithuania. Was it like
it was
maybe a
both.
week before?
It
It
was
was
raining.
both.
It was really hot, and we had some really hot days. And now I feel some relief, and I can breathe again. So I'm happy.
Nice.
Not
Did
seeing.
did you do anything nice during the hot days? Did you go on, I don't know, holiday, or did you mostly work?
Sadly, we have to work.
Right.
Yeah, but I do have my personal project where we have a small personal pond without any other people. So we can go swim. I have two boys. We go swim, we go dive, we go splash the water and have fun time. So we had a great time those, but during the day it was hard and difficult.
Nice. Well, summer is the best.
How about you?
How about me? So it's been fairly warm here in Barcelona as well. Fairly warm summer. So I mean, last week I actually had an event here in Barcelona that I helped to organize. It was like a games industry meetup event. I think something like 20 people showed up. So that was good fun just to see everybody in person and to have a few beers and, share some stories.
For me, it's all about you because when we met first time, I saw you as an active, proactive, and very social person. So,
Yeah.
so those 20 people are organizing the event.
Well, that's the idea. And that's the idea. And I think
Great.
that's when we started talking about potentially doing a podcast together, when you told me about the stuff that you guys do. So I thought that was really interesting. I've never heard of the sort of business before. So I was, kind of curious to learn more. And I thought, doing it in this form of a podcast would be probably like the best way to do it. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe you can to start with. Maybe you can kind of take me back to how the Honeygain started. Like what sparked the idea? Who started the business? Give me
Sure.
give the beginnings of the story.
I will start from a couple of sentences of yours back. So you said that you didn't know about the idea and
Mhm.
it fresh to you. So this is kind of current period thing I'm working on to educate people what is this and what this is all about. And I want to fix a little bit what you just said because I'm speaking not only about Honeygain as a whole, because Honeygain consists of two parts. It's B2C and B2B product, and I'm in the B2B side right now. So I'm an ambassador for that, and I will cover this part a little bit more. The Honeygain itself started in 19 as a simple idea to exchange unused people's internet traffic they have. You have a mobile phone, have an internet at home in your computer, and most of the time it's idle. It does nothing. It just costs you the money, and it's being used only when you are using and doing something. Like, for example, watching YouTube, having a call with a great person from Barcelona, and so on. So when your internet is unused, it can be utilized, and it's really needed for the business, for the proxy business, which is a huge thing. Like, I was thinking before this podcast, what size this proxy industry is. So it is like multiple unicorns worth of industry, definitely. So it's a big thing, and we need to source those IP addresses somehow. And I'm working in this industry for already, I think, 7+ years, different roles, different positions, and so on. And in 2019 or 2020, 2019, I believe, Honeygain was founded by other people, and later on it was acquired by Oxylabs group, and it's a part of that big company right now. So we're kind of having some not regulations, but recommendations, requirements for doing our business and so on. So the Honeygain itself was a very simple idea to exchange your unused internet traffic to dollars, and it
Mhm.
was offered to people all around the world. Honeygain original simple one has those users from everywhere. I don't know, North, South America, Asia, Oceania, Australia, you take Europe, Africa, and so on. So those people are exchanging their free unused traffic and receiving those money, and it's very good and easy to understand. And now I'm working on the project part, which is for the B2B, for companies who have their own customers, their own user base, and so on. So in the original side, I have to speak to 1 million people to explain them what the idea is and to invite them to use our program. And in the B2B part, I have to speak to one developer, app developer, game developer, and so on, and to explain the idea. And he integrates our SDK, our product, our library, and pushes the update to all the user base. And those users get their own rewards. And also, one big thing is not only about the acquisition of those users. The idea is to deliver the value not to only those people who are willing to wait for the money, who are willing to wait for 2 or 3 or 4 or 7 months, depending on geographic location of them, how fast they gather those money. But there are people who want to get that value right here, right now, and they don't want to wait anything. So if you have a game, you can have 5 hearts of 5 hearts or 5 attempts to do something, but you can get that 6th attempt instantly if you are using our problem. But I'm already diving quite deep, so let's keep it for later if that's a topic.
Well, that's it's interesting. A lot of information. Just to break things down a little bit, and maybe to kind of return to the beginning. So the idea that the guys or the people that founded the company had, was it like a brand new idea, or was somebody doing this before? What was the spark? Because it's like such a crazy new idea that maybe at that time it was even like crazier, right? So was it just like maybe another company was doing this similar thing and they wanted to do something else? So
I'm with the Honeygain team not from the very beginning. I'm from 2020, I believe, for a couple of years. So I cannot recall everything what happened then, but as far as I know, there may be some ideas or some attempts in the market at that time when Honeygain original was started, but Honeygain was the ones who did it at scale, who did it
at a global scale.
well, yeah, at scale, at level scale, and they did it quality, put a lot of effort to quality, to user experience, to remuneration, and so on. So Honeygain was the first who popped up at a scale, and later on there were many copycats. So I'm happy about that.
Got it. Understood. So just to then understand how this B2B model works and how easy it is to integrate, I guess, SDK into the product. Let's say it's a game that I have, and how do I make sure that, I guess, the bandwidth that I share with you doesn't impact my players or my game, or I don't know, there's no like lagging or stuff like that. I don't know. How do you ensure that sort of thing
So many
doesn't
questions in one question, so much information to tell you right now. So I just don't want to be like a salesman hat and to tell you those.
It's good. It's interesting. It's interesting.
Those pitch points. So I'll try to uh, also split in the parts about it. So the integration part is really easy. So you just come, register, get API key, download SDK, and there is a full documentation for every platform we work on. We work on most of major platforms like Android, Windows, I don't know, you Linux, you need Mac OS, and so on. So you just take that documentation, and it takes actually adding your library to your IDE and adding a couple of lines, and that's that. In some of those platforms, there are nuances. Like in every platform has its tiny things that are different from one to other, but it can be done quite easy, and mid-level and high-level developers do it independently and really easy. And those starters, those beginners who have no experience and may have some questions can always contact us. We have those communication channels for tech support, and we support them. And I haven't seen, to be honest, I haven't seen any case that partner wasn't able to integrate the SDK. There were some hard situations because of specific environments, specific applications, specific integration, but we actually found these solutions even for those IoT devices, which are really hard and difficult to work with, but we managed to do it. So this is the one part of the question, and I'm trying to remember other parts and how you. Okay, I will just remember it. You want to be sure that it does not impact your user base. So let's take Android for example. When you have Android application, you have those ANR reports, application not responding reports. You have other reports. You have your user reports and feedback, app crashes, app so on. So you simply see those results if it is impacting or not. You can measure application starting time, CPU usage percentage, or in megabyte or in megahertz, how much of resources your app required before the launch, before the SDK, and how much of those resources it uses after the SDK integration. So you can easily measure it and see it in numbers. And usually it's not even felt by the end user. The most what user sees is the consent window, and this is the biggest touch point between the SDK and the user and the end user, because we always, and 100% of the cases, we require to have that consent screen from those end users. And when our partner app developer integrates our SDK, we always review those applications, we always test them, and we always see if the consent screen is presented, if it's working, and if everything is fine. So in that moment, user only sees the consent window where we say that we will use your internet for a public data collection, etc., etc. And if you want to participate, you have to accept, and so on and so on. So this is the biggest thing that user faces with our SDK. And when he accepts that, he's in our program and he's using the program without any other touches or disturbances or uncomfortable things. So about the bandwidth, it is being used in different amount of bandwidth is needed in different locations. It's natural. There are some geolocations where we need more traffic, where we need less traffic, and so on. But we check if there is if connection is mobile, so we use less for all of that because we don't want to utilize all the, for example, if you have the application with SDK in your device, you wouldn't want us to use your whole plan data, right? So we limit it when it's on Wi-Fi more, but generally we have so many users that our traffic dissolves in those whole users, and it does not abuse those levels, and it's never been a problem.
Nice, clever. What was the first version of the Honeygain like? I don't know if you obviously you say you joined a company a bit later, but maybe you can recall, and maybe what were the markets that it launched in first as well?
I believe I saw the first version of Honeygain. It was much simpler, but colors are the same, logo the same. Maybe right now more functions, more gamification, more everything. So product is alive for several years already. So it's been developing and making the referral program wasn't a thing at the very beginning, so it was added later on that Honeygain product. So it grew a little bit. Some things became nicer, some things changed. In, I don't know, for example, number of devices can be used for in one account because Honeygain original product was, it is a product that pays money to people, and where a product is that pays the money, there are always let's call them wrongdoers who want to take that money. So product has changed not only visually, but how it behaves, how it limits, how it walks the users through the user experience path during the journey to solve those, let's say, problems. And it changed the most in that way, I think so.
How much money can you make as a single user? Let's say it's just, me, I sign up and I want to share my home bandwidth with, I don't know, people. So how much money can I make every month or every year?
Okay, so there is a minimum payout level of minimum level of money gathered in account to be able to pay out the real dollars, and it's 25 bucks right now. So you have to collect that. If you don't want to wait that, you can pay out in crypto. So those levels are much lower. And these, to be honest, those levels are not there at all. So you can pay out like 1 cent or 2 cents. It's much smaller.
Okay. Understood.
So in part of the world you can earn like maybe $5 per month. In other part of the world you can earn like $20 per month.
And um, if you are a company, I guess that scale then raises quite a bit, right? If you're able to kind of supply it to like I don't know, millions of users. How does that partnership work? I mean, like who benefits more here? Does the company benefit, or do you guys, or is it, I'm just curious to see how that
Good
partnership
question.
sort of
So now your
functions.
question is about later on. Before we spoke about the Honeygain original for regular users, and now you are talking about the B2C, the SDK form, and it is not being price formula is not the same as a B2C product.
Sure,
The
of course.
B2B part we pay for daily active users, and it
Hmm.
depends on the geolocation of those end users because our traffic and our needs is different in different part of the world. In one countries we need more traffic, in other countries we need less traffic. So we pay for daily active users. So as a company, you may have, let's say, 100,000 daily active users, and it can bring you from, like, I'm calculating right now, from 10 to 40K dollars a month, depending on your location, on online time those users are per day, because the user is 5 minutes online is less useful for me than the one which is 5 hours a day. So it depends on many factors. Formula is quite clear and quite simple, but I will not going to tell you right here. But the difference between B2C and B2B, that in B2B we pay for active users, not for gigabytes.
Okay. I guess the timing and launching of this product was great as well, because you mentioned it launched just before COVID. So I mean, a lot of people, I guess, were curious and interested in using it, right? So the timing sometimes is everything in launching a product. I guess the question here is like, has the company faced sort of many hurdles getting over the hump of making it a successful business, and maybe what were sort of the biggest challenges in growing so far?
So, and again, SDK, honey, no, not SDK, the original one, the B2C part was launched, you are correct, during those COVID times. And as I know from my colleagues, it was a hard thing to work because it was all remote and so on. But for the product itself, it was a good thing, because it's not nice to say that, but it was good because many people were looking for additional ways to earn the money, because of lost jobs, because of
Yeah.
less jobs, because of reasons, because many industries closed back then because they needed to move, and when they cannot move people, they are just having no job, and they needed to find those sources, and it was good timing for them. And for the SDK business part, which I'm on, it's for already 1.5 years. Timing is always good, and now is all good too, because application is everything. Those app stores, those play stores, those application in television, in everywhere, those changes in app store where people are being paid less and they are looking for other monetization options. It's a good timing for us, and it's a good for product. So right now we're in a good timing, and we are on the way. People need this, but the main thing, people don't know they need us. So I'm working with educating them and
Sorry.
teaching them that this is a thing that you have to utilize. Because if you take, let's say, 1,000 app developers, app, game, whatever developers who does the application, and you ask them for monetization methods they know, they will tell you license, subscription, advertisement, maybe some other, but no one, maybe not no one, but very small fraction of them will tell you about the proxy SDKs, about the network sharing integrations and partnerships. And not many people know that, and not many people use this as a additional way to monetize their applications, or main way to monetize, because they simply don't know. It's like inventing the wheel, and when you give the wheel, people are pushing that square and they saying, get lost, I don't have time for this. We're currently in that situation where I have to explain, wait a second, hold on, listen to me, this is a very good thing, listen to me, try it out, because we can monetize not those, we also solve some business problems. For example, if you have a big user base which is paying you the money, you have a 1 or 2 week trial period, and after that trial period, some of your user base that you acquired is purchasing the license of your product, and the other part is leaving your application because they don't want to use it. So we can help, and we help companies and developers monetize that part that is churning. So we are trying to help them with keeping them on the platform. For example, you can prolong your trial period for 1, 2 weeks or month or whatever if you enable this program Honeygain SDK and you will be part of their network. And please do so. And partners do it and they can prolong it. And for example, if you are showing like 100 advertisements per session for one of your users, and your users do not like seeing those many ads, it bugs them off and they are leaving your application. You can offer them, not you like Thomas, but anyone can anyone can offer see less ads but be a part of the network sharing application. Okay, people can enable it and they can see not 100 ads during the session, like seeing the 50 or 20 ads, but being the part of that. And developer still gets paid, still gets those users in its platform and can grow user base. And every case is different, and every developer and every application has to calculate the best model that works for them the best. And it takes time, but we actually do the paid tests and we actually pay the money, good money, and we try to educate them and allow them to try this.
And how comfortable are people nowadays with sharing their bandwidth? In a sense that, do they still feel that there is some sort of possibility of, like, I don't know, security breach or stuff like that? Do you need to educate them on that? And when they sign up, do you explain,
there is some concerns of those people, but it's not like even everywhere. It's like more in different groups of people. One of them do not understand at all what they do. They just click, so it's bad.
Right.
It's bad, but we try to educate them, and we want them to understand what they do. Other part is they never go for such things because you don't touch my device, you don't touch my internet, you don't touch my nothing because I don't trust anybody. And we do understand. Also, we try to explain them what's going on. And there are some people who reasonable questions, who ask reasonable questions and who try to understand what's going on. Do you touch my, for example, personal data? If I install some application with your SDK in my phone, do you touch my contact data? Do you touch my storage? Do I touch my camera, GPS, and Bluetooth data? No, we don't, because we technically cannot do that because we don't need it and we don't work on that. Okay, so we explain it. Some people believe those explanations and some people don't. Those who don't, there are two parts of them: who cannot check if we're saying the truth, and those who can check. And those who can check, they try to check, they can to track, they try to do their investigations, and the conclusions are always what we said, because we are open and clear and honest. And you can lie one time, and if you are catched by hand lying, so you cannot wash yourself from that. So we don't want to do this, and we don't do it. And we work with those different groups of people, trying to educate and explain them what's going on. So yes, there are some people who are skeptical about that, but we are working on it. And time and experience and those feedback from other people help us, because the more user base grows, the more feedback we have, the easier people can understand what's going on. If you go to Trustpilot and hit our brand name to Trustpilot, you will get more than 10,000 reviews, which with a really high average social proof and social overall opinion really gives us a good manner, and we're educating those people.
When it comes to the games industry, do you guys mostly work just with mobile games companies, or do you service companies that make PC or console games as well? Or
one word came to my head when you asked this question, and it's diversification. So everything lies on that. We make our network as diverse as possible. And yes, we work with different platforms. No, we don't work only with mobile. And yes, we're working with different hardware and software ecosystems. So we have, for most popular TVs, for desktop devices, no matter if it is Windows or Apple devices. We have for mobile devices, no matter if it's Android or Apple also. We're working with TV boxes. We're working with those popular frameworks like Electron or Unity. So we try to cover those most popular and most vast and the best known ecosystems in the developer world. more people could use this benefit from what we offer.
When it comes to the games industry, though, like what sort of would you say the biggest problems that you're solving for the guys or for the studios? Like if somebody is to come and talk to you and approach you and ask you to kind of explain what you guys do and what problems you solve, what would you?
Very easy. We offer additional / hybrid monetization method, which can be used to still monetize the application without losing the UX or data privacy things. So we kind of help monetize those user segments that other monetization option does. So that's our key selling point.
I guess another question for you then, do you see the company evolving into something beyond what the current offering is? So obviously you offer bandwidth sharing, but like, are there any kind of products that are currently in development? Maybe you're able to share. I don't know if you are.
The ideas are always on table, always on the discussion list. But at this moment, we are strongly working on the SDK, on this part of the product, on this part of the business, because we need to grow that, maintain and grow our network. And this is our bread and butter right now. So we don't hours for those other projects right now, and this is the main topic and thing. So I will not tell you any secrets.
Nice. You personally then, so you joined the company, you said a few years after they started. What was your impact on the company? What are you currently responsible for? Just talk about yourself a little bit as well.
I'm in the industry for 7 years, as I said, and I saw Honeygain came to our company group of companies, and later on joined the Honeygain itself. So my impact was bringing my experience, my knowledge, some of my managerial skills, and some of my vibe skills, and I believe that's it. So I'm responsible for the SDK and B2B product right now. We do have one more small project, not small project, but one more project which I'm not very actively on. It's in the list of our portfolio, but right now I'm day and night 24/7 Honeygain SDK PO, like a product owner. So I'm working with a carrot and a whip with my developers, marketing, salesman, and so on. So, the orchestrator.
What are the important skills to have, in your opinion, to be a good leader or an impactful leader? Or how would you describe your leadership style?
I do care about people. I do try to understand and feel them and help them in the way they really need to. Also, there is a big part of context switching, which is really the hardest thing for me. Sometimes we even speak with our colleagues that sometimes after the day, I feel exhausted. I have like battery power 1% in my body left. And if I need to list at least 3 things what I did today, I cannot list because all day I was switching between teams, between sub projects, between questions, topics, and so on. So it's the hardest part, and it really needed the skill to have to be able to do it because not many people can do it. I think and I believe I can, and I kind of enjoy it because if I wouldn't be here.
So far, since you joined the company, what would you say was yours and team's proudest moment?
Many of those, and I'm just trying to pick one which was the most where I was the most proud of. I don't know. Actually, I will tell from my perspective. When I see a potential in people, in, for example, certain person, and when I see that that person does not see it by himself or herself, I work on it. And when I unlock it, and when that person just shoots to the stars, and this is kind of achievement for me, and I'm really happy about it. I don't care if the person grows up in higher career ladder than me and so on. It's not about being jealous or I don't want to do that because it's not about me. I really enjoy and I'm really happy helping people unlock their potential and what I'm trying to do and what I do.
Nice. It's always a good feeling, no, when you train somebody, even if they leave, even if they join another company, just kind of following their career journey and their progression and seeing that they're doing well and actually knowing that you've had an impact. So
Absolutely, absolutely.
yeah,
I actually, in my personal life, I'm not talking about the business, I do have 2 boys, 2 sons, which I'm trying to grow, teach, learn, and the same feeling there when I see they are doing something better than yesterday, or better than in the morning. I
Yeah.
feel really happy and proud, and I see the progress. So this is the same. I love
How old are your boys?
12 and 15.
12 and 15. Wow.
Yeah, they are quite
Interesting age. Interesting age.
absolutely. One is still little boy, but the other one
Hmm.
is kind of full power man, full power guy who helped me with various projects. So we do have, and it's great time, great time. Time flies so fast, so I'm afraid of that.
Yeah. I have a 5-year-old as well. So I'm still have some time to look forward to the teenage years. So I'm trying to try and take as much as I can and spend as much time as I can with him as well. Because to be honest, like I don't even remember how he was when he was a baby, you know, and I can probably probably be the same when he's like 10 years old or 15 years old, you know, that you
Yeah,
won't
yeah.
remember
My
those
advice
times.
for
So
you is enjoy every moment, take photos, and
yeah,
definitely take videos, because when I come back to those videos, they are
it's
amazing.
like the best. Wow. Wow. What do you teach your sons in terms of values?
It very correlates to our company ethos. Be proud, stay humble, work hard, learn every day, and so on. So these main core things that I teach them, and I require of my people also. So we always try to be as honest as possible in our family and in team and so on. So when we have a hard situation, we don't cover this situation under, we don't hide it under the carpet and wait for to rot and stink. It's better on to collect all the people and say, this is a piece of crap that happened. Guys, maybe I'm responsible, maybe someone else is responsible, doesn't matter. Let's find a solution. Let's talk it through. Let's find a solution. And what can we learn from that? And we iterate and we learn, and we, of course, we will have some new pile of crap later on, and it will happen. Life happens always. We just need to talk it out, sort it out, and continue our way. So we're working with this with my voice also at home. So, I don't know, honesty,
Nice.
being a good person, not going through heads. Of course, not allowing others to step on your head, because if you will allow others to step on your head just because to reach some of your little goals, you will be like floor level by yourself in a few years. So just don't do it. Walk your way and don't mix with others. That's it.
I guess those are important. Values are super important for a company to have, and it's also very important when you're trying to bring new people in to the company, right? When you're trying to hire, is it something that you look for a lot in people when you hiring them? I don't know. Maybe a question is like, what is the criteria that you follow when you kind of adding new members to your team?
There are many criterias, but generally speaking, I would say that soft skills and being a good fit in the team is more important than having a high level hard skills, because those hard skills can be learned, can be developed, and those soft skills are being developed not so easily, and it takes much more time. So there must be a chemistry between me or a company and the possible new coworker, and we definitely look for that. And when we have those interviews, we always have those technical stage, we have the homework stage, and so on, because you need to know something at least, right? But
Of course, yeah, you need to bring.
not a small part of our interviews, and knowing the person better is that personal level and person itself picture. So we look at it very seriously.
I always tell people when they go for interviews to try and treat it as a conversation and try not to get bogged down in the fact that it's an interview and it has to be official, right? So the idea is that you need to connect to another person, right? So you need to be able to understand like who that person is, how you connect with them, and kind of talk about different experiences, share different experiences that you have, and but yeah, at the same time, try and see, as you said, whether there is a chemistry, whether you're able
Absolutely.
to
I
connect
would
with
like
each other.
to add something to this. As I always say to my current team members, to my previous, to my future team members, it is not about when you go to the interview and when overall, when you are in the relationship with the company, person versus company, it's not about being like in ownership of someone, of somebody, and so on. It's like it is about a direct partnership where and for me personally, I do share my time, I do share my values, I do share my efforts, and company share their profit with me. So it's an equal exchange of values. I just give it in one form and company gives it in another form. So it's an equal partnership between two something. And when you go to interview, when I go to interview, everybody needs to treat each other like they're equal and to understand that I'm not a like a lower something in front of the company, because it's not the right way to look at it.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, totally get it. Mutual respect, but not respect where you have to like bow in front of the company or another person, but
That's what I want.
more about nice. For you personally, has there been a person in your journey that you'd say had an impact on you, like a mentor or anyone like that?
Sure, that's absolutely. My personal path to this day was really
Mhm.
colorful, really different, and I was working in different areas, starting from security officer, bang bang, going to I don't know, salesman, marketing, and so on and so on. And now I'm here. So I met very different kinds of people, very different kinds of coworkers, very different kinds of managers. So I saw bad examples, I saw very bad examples. Also, I saw a good examples and the perfect examples. So actually, I was formed by those people I met, and I'm proud of it. And I'm happy about it. And if you would ask me to take one person and say an example, it was my last manager in my last, not last, but last like 7 years ago, 10 years ago. It was hard type of leadership, was like, fist to the table. But when you listen to him, when you analyze what was the deeper message and what was the reasoning behind that,
Mhm.
you understand what he wanted to reach. Yes, he did very terrible things, but in general, I took many lessons which I actually use today.
Sure.
And yes, my current boss is very good.
I guess the workplace nowadays, right? It's different to how it was back in the day, because when I started working and in my career as well, like my first jobs, I remember it was different. People, especially like your managers, and people at the top could tell you like a harsher word and have like a stronger conversation with you, and that was considered normal. I guess nowadays it's a little bit different. You need to manage your emotions in a different way. At least that's kind of what I've been noticing in general. I don't know if that's the case that
My
you've
answer is
been
yes
seeing.
and no at the
Yeah.
same time. Because generally speaking, I must agree with you that the harsher work may do some impact, may do some unexpected results, let's say it so.
Yeah.
But we managed to build our team so that we can speak openly and freely and do not take it personally. If you made something bad, if your pants are full of problems that you made, we say you did the wrong thing and let's solve it. We're not saying that you are going away right now, but okay,
Yeah.
things happen. Let's go. Let's solve. If I think that there is another situation, if I think that someone told bullshit, I say this is totally bullcrap. I do not agree with you. Listen to me. My arguments are 1, 2, 3, 5. And when we discuss it through, maybe I was wrong, maybe he was wrong. So we have those open discussions, and we're not afraid to say that harsher word, because we kind of, it's like a mutual agreement and legalized stuff inside our team. And I enjoy it because open conversations always brings the best results, and not keeping something, saying something later, writing something to someone,
Sure.
playing those
Sure.
political games. It's not good, because it makes you slower, it makes you less result oriented and only game oriented. So
And it's a good culture to have, where you can be straight with everybody and take responsibility and not be afraid that you're gonna be punished somehow for it, or whatever, shouted at, or
a very good topic.
you know
When you said the word punished because of doing something, I remember that we had a survey not so long ago, and
Mhm.
one of the questions was that I can openly do something without being afraid of being punished or something. And score was really high because we have this culture of pivoting and learning lessons, and not saying it was a failure, because every time you get down, you always learn something. to do something differently, to do something faster, slower, better, and so on. So everything is a lesson for us.
So we're both from Lithuania. I live in Barcelona now, and I've been living abroad for many years. Maybe I'm not as familiar with the tech scene in Lithuania and building companies in Lithuania. Obviously, you have a lot more experience with that. But just from your perspective, and obviously maybe working at working at Oxy Labs and working at Honeygain, what's the kind of general consensus about how easy or difficult it is to build a tech company in Lithuania, and what are the hurdles, what are the good things, what's your kind of the general overview about this topic?
Generally, it's really easy. Short answer is it is easy, but there are some rumors or some thoughts from our government to change something.
Right.
The community of those businessmen, of those startup owners, always are finding those solutions. And I think Lithuania is very good hub for starting your any startup, not only tech startup, but any. You can open company in, I believe it's in not days, but hours almost. It's just registering in a website, putting up your data and so on, and you have a legal entity and you can start working on. You just need to have the idea and start working with it. The main thing is to do things, not only to think about them. Lithuania is a very good place because of networking, and those specialists are here. And it's very good to find those channels that you need, those to sell, to promote, those companies that do things that are needed to your company, or even purchase your product. So in that business hub perspective, it is a good thing. And the law and tax perspective, it is very good. It was very good. And now on, we will see how it goes. I cannot be sure
Depends.
what our government will think, but
Right.
now it's okay.
Depends on.
I don't believe I don't believe Lithuania will make hurdles, big hurdles for us to community to work on, because the payments, the taxes that the country collects from that industry are really high, and it's really needed for the country. And I believe it will be supported as much as possible.
Absolutely. And there's been a lot of homegrown startups that started up and have been successful in the recent years. Obviously some companies came to Lithuania as well and opened up headquarters there as well. So yeah, it's been a really good few years. Where do you see this ecosystem evolving and going from here?
Two letters, A and I. Everybody's talking about the AI. Everybody's doing something for, because to AI, and this is the current oil, and the AI is a king right now. So we are helping to provide data needed for the AI model. So we're also in the same boat. And if you don't know AI, you are like, I don't know, when I'm thinking about example, it's like using male, that birds, male doves who brings those letters in thousands, because you think that it's not good to send an email to someone, because
Sure.
yeah, now you have to know, at least know how AI works and utilize it at some level in your everyday business. I do also.
Everybody does. Everybody does. Yeah, I mean, even for example, with this podcast, when I record it, there is an integrated AI software that essentially acts as your side producer. So it used to be that you had to I had to like reach out to audio designers and, spend days and weeks producing the podcast and, going through different softwares manually, kind of deleting things and sorting out ums and ums and whatever. And now a lot of it is done by AI, and it saves a lot of time, and you can focus on doing this, which hopefully it still can do as well. So yeah, do you guys use much of it in your business at Honeygain? Do you have like an integrated models within the product that obviously helps you or solves the problems of your customers?
Listening is absolutely clear. I'm currently running through my teams who does different things, and I cannot tell you at least one team that does not use AI in any kind of form. Developers have the copilot,
Yeah.
marketing, some ideas generation, and so on. So everybody does, everybody use it. Of course, the last resort and the last word is from person always, because we are still smarter and more clever and know better context than the AI, but as a tool to pick up the data, to collect, to do some manual job for you that you don't need to, pick up. For example, I don't know, you need to find 50 certain industry companies. You don't need to go to Google and think about it. You just need ask AI to give me you the list, and you get it. And from that, you can start going on with like a personal approach, and it's a very good tool.
When it comes to your mindset in running a team, running a business, how much does that help you? What it is, sort of what fuels this energy? Because even when I met you, I think for the first time, like what I noticed straight away is that you have a lot of energy. You as well, you want to go and talk to people. You're very open, extrovert, I guess. So what fuels that? What's your mindset?
Money. It was a joke. It doesn't play the last place in the whole picture, but in generally there are some personal things that came with me when I was born. But today is my company, my management believe in us and believe in product. So we kind of know what we're doing. We know how to do it. We have huge support. We have huge demand, and we are just building. We are just grinding. So this is what we are and who we are.
And maybe just to finish it off, if I don't know, 20-something-year-old would come up to you and they were, planning on starting their own company. Let's say it could be your son, right? In 5 years. And what advice would you give them? Like what would, maybe they just have an idea, they're looking to start, they're very excited about it. Like what would be your advice?
Stop thinking and stop being afraid and start doing. Execution is the king. Very easy. If you have an idea and you want to push it through, make POC, MVP, and you call it the way you want. Prove it works, and then just find ways to scale. I may have, and I do have millions of ideas, but if they are not being executed, they are ideas and they are nothing in the world for other people. They don't know that I have those ideas. So you have to execute. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Don't be afraid of falling down. It's all lessons. Just execution lessons. Think, analyze what you did, what worked, what didn't, change it, pivot it, and go for it. Very easy. Don't be afraid to go there. We all were a toddler at some point of our lives, right? So if we were afraid to fall down and have a scratch on our knee, we would never start walking, running, or riding a bicycle. So those attempts, those fall downs, those bruises helped us walk right now. So it's very simple. Here, the same. Absolutely.
That's some good advice. Thank you, Darius. Well, thank you for joining the podcast. I really enjoyed talking to you. I think I learned a lot. And yeah, maybe we can meet again at some point in the future if you are coming to Barcelona, or maybe if you're coming to Gamescom. I don't know if you're going to be there. But yeah, really, really nice to meet you. And thanks for coming.
It was great time. Thank you for inviting me, being your podcast. I'm really happy being here, having an ability to speak about things we do. I'm really happy to be part of your journey.
Thank you.
Really nice podcast, really nice idea, really nice execution. So good thing that you not only want to have podcast, but you are doing it. And I'm really happy to meet you. Please hit me a message if you ever be in Vilnius.
I will do. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I might be coming soon, actually. So we can maybe meet.
Message, we can meet for a tea or coffee, and in our office you will see how we do what we do.
Nice, exciting. Well, thanks for the invite, and I'll definitely take you up on that. Thanks, Iris.
Keep in touch. Bye.